Greetings programs. In this video we're going to be having a look at one of the early portable CD burners, the Freecom Traveller. This was sold in the United Kingdom, UK. Freecom, I believe, were a German company. I think they're still going today. They tend to make external drive peripherals, such as this. I think they are still around today. They usually tend to make high capacity USB hard drives for the mass market and that sort of thing. The model we're going to be looking at is the Freecom Traveller. We've got two variations. We have the Traveller Lite and we have the Traveller Premium. The premium one is actually rebranded as its Toshiba. So it was obviously designed to be an official accessory of sorts for the Toshiba satellite laptops of that era, or like the Tecras, the Satellite Pros and what have you. There actually isn't much difference between the premium and the Lite. Apart from the fact is that the Lite is slightly more lightweight because the premium has an internal battery pack. Premium battery pack. So that's really the sole difference between the two. And I also believe that the premium is a little faster. It can read discs at 24 speed, whereas the Lite only reads them at 20 speed. So the premium is faster by about 600 kilobytes. Right, typical features of both include an eject button, which when you press makes the lid spring out forward a little. We have a switch to toggle between internal and external power, which we'll get to a little bit later in the video. We have a line output, so you can plug it to the line in of your sound card and you hear CD audio through your sound card's internal mixer. You have an external power supply port, as marked by DC input, and then you have your computer interface connector. On the other side we have nothing, and on the back we have nothing also. As we say on the bottom, we also have our internal power supply. Now, my premium unit does read discs for the most part, but it does seem to have a bit of a dodgy transfer. I don't know if it's the buffering chips that are going a little bit out of whack, or if it's a laser synchronization issue. It does work, but it's a little dodgy. FMVs tend to skip around a bit, a little bit like the audiophile PlayStation 1 consoles. It behaves a little bit like one of those. My Lite, on the other hand, works perfectly well and has no issues whatsoever. And you see it's the original Freecom brand. It comes in a translucent blue, which might indicate that maybe these were released around about 1998. It does remind me of the Bondi blue first generation iMac G3s. It reminds me very much of one of those. And on the bottom we also have a translucent shell. So yeah. These must have been quite usable with the Macintosh. But of course you're looking at that, is that some sort of proprietary connector? Well, the reason why these have such an odd connector is because they're designed to be used with a variety of different interfaces. Here we have two of the four possible interfaces that the Traveller can be connected to. We have USB and we have parallel ports. The other options that I am unable to present in this video include Firewire, IEEE 1394 and PCMCIA. Now the PCMCIA option, I believe, is the only one that can actually self-power the unit without the requirement of an external cable or the premium battery pack. Use of the Firewire, the USB and the parallel port also requires you to have this connector, which to my understanding I believe is 5 volt. Unlike later USB burners, it cannot self-power from the USB port. I have no idea why, but it absolutely just cannot do that. you always need one of these for use with it. So you had your FireWire for your Mac, you had your PCMCIA for your laptop, you had your USB for your more modern laptop or more powerful tower, and you had a very nifty parallel port for other computers that might not have the other three interfaces. According to the instructions, you can use this on something as low as a 486 running MS-DOS 5, though personally I don't understand why it wouldn't actually work under MS-DOS 3.3 with the MSCD extensions. So here's the original manual. It shows all 4 cable types, along with the typical computers of the day that these could have been used with. You'll see the official instructions, 486DXY with 8 megs of RAM. It looks like there was also a DVD variation of the Traveller as well. I have found in theory that one would possibly be able to burn CDs using a parallel port. I've never tried it, but I do know that the parallel cable does drastically reduce the speed. Although I've used this as a 20 speed drive, when using it under DOS with a parallel port, I found that I've only managed to get triple speed at the most. Mega Race is CD-ROM benchmark, gives me triple speed. It doesn't give me quad speed like some other drives that I've tested with that game. So you'll definitely have a triple speed drive and probably not much faster than that, depending on the specifications of your computer's parallel ports. I don't have the original driver's discs. I believe there would have been a CD that would have come bundled with the light, and it would have been probably something like Roxio Easy CD Creator, something along the lines of that. Managed to find drivers online. You've got the drivers for MS-DOS to use it as a CD-ROM drive, but not as a writer. And you can also use it under Windows 98 and Windows 2000. We also have the drivers for Windows 95 and NT 3.51 Plus. I'd probably go for the Windows 2000 drivers if you're going to use this under Windows XP. I did try to use it as a parallel burner under DOS CD-ROM Beta 3, and I think also DOS CD-ROM Beta 2, but I never had any success with that. Okay then, I think we're going to get going. One advantage to this, I can definitely assure you, is that this is one way of reading CD rewrites under MS-DOS. Yes, I have been able to, I'm pretty sure I remember reading a rewritable disk under MS-DOS version 6 or 6.22. I think it's version 6.0. I think that was what I had on my Toshiba Satellite Pro 460 CDT. For the purposes of this video, we're going to be burning an image for an MS-DOS game onto a CD rewritable. We are going to transfer the image from a USB hard drive and we are going to burn it onto the Freecom. Then what we'll do after that is plug the parallel port Freecom into my MS-DOS gaming tower. Now the machine that we're going to be using to do the transfer job is this HP Compaq NC6120, I believe the model is. It's an interesting laptop because it actually has virtually all 4 of the interfaces. We've got 2 PCMCI cards, we've got FireWire, though that will probably require an adapter if I were to use the Freecom FireWire cable. We have USB ports, and interestingly we also have a parallel port. It's quite a good laptop, it's got tons of connectors on this thing. It also has its own internal burner. So yeah, very neat. Got nice sound interface. We've even got a multi-port card reader. Very nice machine. For curiosity's sake, I'm gonna give it a try at burning this using the parallel port rather than the USB option. Naturally, it's easy to say that the USB option will be faster. Just need to connect the power lead into my laptop because I somehow forgot about that. You see, it's got the Centrino mobile technology chipset, so this is roughly based on a mobile Pentium 4. Yep, it's probably something a bit like a sort of portable version of the Norwood. So, yeah, you have a fairly cool little Pentium 4 laptop here. Yeah, the model number is Compat NC6120. Right, so the power has been set to external because internal can only be used with the PCMCI cable. As even if we were to use USB, it's not going to self-power. As I've already said in the video, PCMCI is the only self-powering option for these Freecom drives. We are going to first install the parallel PCMCA software. Well, not PCMCA, just the parallel port. We're going to install that first. And we're going to use Lightning UK's image burn to burn our image. While that is doing that, we're going to switch on our hard drive. We have our floppy drive over here, which we're going to use to install our software. Just need to find my CD for image burn, which I have on. Pretty sure I have that on Owen's boot CD. Yes, Owen's boot CD. Here we are. I'm going to put that into the laptop's internal drive. I don't think it's going to automatically see the Freecom. A parallel CD drive is going to be fairly specialised hardware as far as Windows XP standards go. So again, we're probably going to have to install either the Windows 2000 drivers or the Windows NT 3.51 drivers, depending on how one might go about these things. My computer, it's not seen there. We do see our floppy drive, our Freecom hard drive containing our CD image, as well as our local hard disk, and the Hiram's boot CD and internal, but we do not see the parallel port drive. So again, we're going to have to install the parallel port. Actually, I'm not sure if I've even got the drivers for the USB cable anyway. Each cable needs to have its own specialised driver, because if one looks very carefully inside the plug, you can actually see a circuit board in there. It actually has its own integrated controller, and this is how the universal nature of the Freecom Traveller drive works, because the controller is actually in the cable rather than the drive itself. The drive is kind of like dumb, the intelligence is in the cable itself. So we're going to go onto our floppy drive, and as I say, we're just going to have a look for maybe a readme file. Here you go, readme for parallel 2000 XP. Good. I'm going to load that up. So floppy drives are rather slow, all that diskette drives. They haven't really been floppy since they left the 5" format. Okay, can we actually have the English version of the help file? I don't speak German. I don't read German either. Nothing against their language or anything, I'm just not familiar with it. Thank you. Connect the cable. Stop my computer. Double click on the install parallel to install the. Okay. Now check over PC possesses parallel port. Windows XP. Please select install software automatically recommended. Click next. Driver will be found and installed automatically. If a message appears, the driver cannot be passed. Okay, right. It's a matter of parallel install. was it? Install parallel. Right, this little icon, I believe. So we're going to install that. That'll get the computer to see the parallel cable and its intelligent chipset. Then we're going to have to reboot the computer, and then it should be able to then see the cable and actually see that there is a CD drive at the end of that cable. Yep, it's installing it. And it says found new hardware, CD rewrite CD-ROM drive, as we can see in the little balloon down here. It claims that it's installed and ready to be used. All settings, fast transfers are done. You must restart your system. Okay. We're going to restart that now. I'm just going to pause the video, cut the waiting times down. Right, it's booting up again. Sometimes you might have to disconnect a few things, otherwise the laptop will try and automatically boot from any USB device. That's how it can happen, because that's the way that these things work. Laptop has a little bit of a dodgy start routine. I'm not sure why, but I think it's something to do with a load of driver installations for the laptop's chipset. You might have to do that kind of restart combination to get it to behave right. That's just the way things are with me these days. I don't like it either. At least one parallel port isn't capable of doing fast transfers. Oh wow, that's great news. Right, chances are we probably won't be able to burn from it, but we're going to have a look at this anyway. Right, I'm going to stick Hiram's boot CD back in. Let it do its auto load thing. Back up, maybe? Yeah, image burn. What would you like to do? Write an image file to disk and select a file from our disk. Right, we should be able to select which drive we want to use. Right, internal or CD rewrite. We can give that a try, I think. Device. Right, we're going to load a rewritable disk in this, and we're going to see if we can actually burn using the parallel port. And we can also see that if we do so, we can also see if the results are any good. And see if it's also actually readable by a genuine MS-DOS computer with a parallel port drive. It will be slow, it's not going to be the most ideal solution, but I do think that is going to be an interesting experiment, especially if you enjoy your history of computer hardware. Right, we have that. Chances are the disk needs to be blanked, but that's fine. Disk not empty. We're going to do maybe a wipe, a quick wipe. Well, as quick as it's going to be on a parallel port. There we go. Okay, it's going to start erasing the disk. It's ready, disk not empty. Okay, we've got some errors here. What's this all about? Failed to erase disk. Reason: power calibration area error. Failed to erase disk. Reason: power calibration area. I'm thinking maybe this could be one of those drives that might be a little bit fussy on maybe the disc mediums. It's hard to say really, but I do have my suspicions on such matters. Now I'm going to try it with a verbatim disc and see if that prefers it over the Samsung. It's unlikely of course, but why not have a look? Although admittedly this one does actually say for ultra speed drives only, as opposed to the Samsung, which is actually designed to work on some slower drives. There's no harm in trying. Weird things happen. If it doesn't work, then we're definitely going to have to go for the USB option for the burning part and just use the parallel port for when we transfer things over to the tower. I can't really imagine there being a power issue given the fact that I am using the external power supply unit. Never mind verify, we just want to do a quick wipe. Hear that repetitive sound. And we get the same error screen again. Right, we're going to have to set up for use maybe with the USB port then. Well, it must be said that I was actually able to remove the parallel port without having to shut down the computer first. That's kind of a cool option, I think. Well, I've just plugged in the USB cable and switched it on. I don't know if it will work immediately or not, because I've only installed the parallel port drivers. Either it will or it won't. Ah, it does. We are lucky today. Video Pop Puri watches. Finished. Chances are we might have to give the computer a reboot. It's not always easy to tell. Well, maybe not. Okay. Let's give Iron's burner another spin. Well, it's not actually Hiram's burner, you get the idea. That program that we run from Iron's boot CD. Okay. I'm just going to switch over to the Samsung disc because I feel like that is definitely going to work better than the verbatim. I'm pretty sure the verbatim just isn't actually going to be suitable for it. So it requires a 16-speed writer. And I'm absolutely certain that this particular drive does not write at such speed. That is one slight disadvantage, is that you may have to use certain brands or certain variations of CD media to work with some of these much older CD burners. They could be very fussy on brands back in the day. So we have that. Yeah, we have that one selected. Supposedly the drive can read or write at 56. I don't think so. Does it say anything about what we can or can't read at or write at? I haven't a clue. We're going to try rewriting. Let's try writing at single speed. This is going to be a long time, baby. Okay, let's do an erase and see if this works. Can we do a quick? I suppose I could have tried the full erase option with the parallel port, thinking about it now. Okay, that doesn't sound good. So we're going going to get that error again. Strange. No, we're using it for the USB port. Okay, let's try full then. Locking drive for exclusive access. Not quite sure what's going on, but we do get this occasional blink on the front LED of the drive. Must be said that it is taking its time when it comes to locking for the full access. It doesn't say that it's actually wiping the disk yet. At this rate, I'm expecting failure. So the drive cannot be locked. Oh, hang on, we've got a 0% erasing disk. There might be hope. One thing that I think I will actually try again is actually try doing a full erase through the parallel port. It does say erasing disk, so there is actually a chance that we can still wipe and burn using the parallel port. You just have to use a full one rather than the quick option. Well, nobody said that using older hardware is going to be the quickest way of doing things. No, hang on, we have an error still. Failed to erase disk. Power calibration area error. Again. Right, something tells me that it's not easy to use one of these as a burner. But I'm sure we can use it as a reader. So we're going to still burn our image, but we're going to just use the internal drive of our laptop instead. Here we have no problem in erasing the disk using the laptop's internal drive. See the percentage just ticking away like that. Right over there. No problems with that. Not sure what's the slowest burn option. Ah, it looks like my laptop can burn, I think, at quad speed. We'll try free speed and see what it says. Right, this drive only supports writing at either 4 speed or 10 speed. That's fine. Generally, for older game systems, you want to actually burn at a slower speed. Right, we'll automatically check the tray. That's it. Just going to wait for that to burn. We're going to just burn this at quad. Is it either quad or 10? Got quad speed. While we are waiting for that disk to burn, we're going to set up the parallel port cable for use for this tower. I'm going to do this by, is this the DOS? No, this is not the DOS disk. I'll wait for that to boot up and get on the DOS disk. Funny enough, the DOS drive is on the same disk as the Windows 2000 drivers, but not 98 drivers. I just find that a bit funny because Windows 98 has a lot more in common with DOS than what Windows 2000 does. Funny stuff. Right, our parallel port's enabled. Block drive A is enabled, so we can just pop that in like that. A shift. Oh, it's FC inst. You do that, and it should install the DOS drivers using a parallel port drive with this particular machine. I don't think my floppy drive likes that disk very much though. Oh, we're here. Okay. English. Parallel CD rewrite DVD. Yes. Parallel and the PCMCIA options are supported. But it doesn't look like there's any USB or firewire support for DOS, which is hardly surprising. Install programs from 2001. Maybe that was the year they came out then. Automatic installation or user defined. I think we're going to go for CFC. Yeah, we'll go with that. Right, it's going to install from the floppy disk to the hard disk of my machine. Press any key to continue. Yes. Need to reboot the system to activate the changes. Right, we can do that by taking our disk out. Then we're going to do the magic key combination of central out and down. That'll reboot our tower. While that's doing that, we're going to see how the burning is going. Right, 26% complete. Right, that's definitely taken a while, but we're all right with that. And while it's doing that, we can just turn off our Freecom. Disconnect the USB port. It's not being used anyway. I'll just put that on the other end of the parallel port plug while the system's rebooting. Take no responsibility for any possible damage. Switch that on sooner, really. But we're just doing a reboot. Reboot! Who loves reboot? I do.